All right. So you're saying you mastered the regular walk cycle? Well, let's move on to the advanced walk cycle. All right. This is like the regular walk cycle. It has a contact pose, a passing pose, a reverse contact, and a reverse passing. But there's a couple more poses put in. Two more that are also reversed. Okay. So, we know what a contact pose is. A contact is when both legs are touching the ground. They're basically at the widest point. So this is kind of when your character should be really at the lowest. A recoil, or actually the body is, sorry, this is when the recoil is when the body should be the lowest. So the recoil is, after it's passing, so it's like, leg comes forward. See if I can get all of it. Leg comes forward, or actually this is the recoil. So the leg is straight, then it's pressing down, while this leg is still bent. Okay, which means this is the lowest head because it's not even pushing off of anything. Okay. Arms are at the widest stance. So your arms should be, here it's kind of like they're starting, and then this is like the widest part. Okay. Arms down at the side, or sorry, that's the recoil. Legs bent as it takes the weight. Then we have the passing, and then we have the high point. High point is the highest point when you have an advanced walk cycle. So in the earlier one, the passing would be the highest, but this one's even a little bit higher than that. Okay, the high point is when the foot is in the direct pushing. So this is like the straightest it's going to be. Okay, arms are down at the side, high point, so contact, legs are both touching, leg comes forward, push off, lands, reverse contact, reverse coil, this leg bends down, this leg is now coming forward, reverse passing, and then reverse high point. Okay. Let's take a look at this. So we're going to be making something that kind of looks like this. Okay, so because it has extra poses, the animation is going to look a little more fluid. Oops. All right, so I'm going to turn this off. Here are your references, just, So we're going to start with the basic contact pose again. I'm just going to make a couple of colors here. So once again, I'll use yellow as the front. And we'll use blue as the back. I'm just going to, in this case, I'm going to use black to draw. All right, so this is my contact pose. The forward leg is slightly bent as it comes in contact with the ground. This leg is slightly bent backwards as it's beginning to, this is coming up and it's going to pass. I'm just going to kind of blow through this kind of quickly since we just did contact poses. But essentially it's the same idea. Once again, the arm and the reverse leg are in tandem. So the right arm is forward, so is the left leg. Right leg is back, so is the left arm. Okay. In this case, I'm going to make the arm like literally like a circle. The hand is literally just going to be like a circle fist because I'm too lazy. But, if I was doing a more sophisticated pose. All right, so let's do that. Boom, boom. Oops. This is where I always find. All right, and these will be the back. This is our contact pose. We've done this before. All right, next is the recoil. The recoil is when this leg bends down a little bit. So here it's like first, boom. This bends as it's coming forward. This leg bends as it's like taking the weight. So basically as the character's falling, it's like, this is like the impact. Okay. Arms are at the widest at this point. By the way, I'm just drawing freehand. If you want to use, like, you know, a circle, one of the circle tools or something to get a more perfect circle, by all means do it. I'm just being kind of lazy. I really should be kind of using this to give me some straighter lines. The top of the thigh should be a little bit wider, right? I mean, unless your character is more pronounced. Alright, let me clean up my lines a little bit. So this leg is moving forward. This is the back leg. Recoil is going to be a little bit smaller than the contact. That's a little bit too big, though. Because I think my reference pictures are a little bit off there. I'll try to fix that before I submit it to you guys, but let me just color this and I'll worry about it later. So, alright, that looks decent. Alright. So contact, recoil, that's really big. I think I might make this one a little smaller. I want this line to be the I want this line, this vertical or this vertical horizontal line to be the tallest. So this, I'm gonna pull this down a little bit. So the recoil should be a little smaller than that. It should be a little smaller than the contact because this is bent and this is moving forward. It's at the it's kind of at the lowest point now, but it shouldn't be that, it's not like dramatically lower. It's just a little bit. These are like, I suppose you could exaggerate it if you want, but all right. Next is our passing pose. So I'm not going to talk too much, but it's leg that is supporting the weight is slightly bent. Zoom Once again, I'm just going to draw big old circles. And then this is the front leg. Now let's tidy this up. I might even make these a little, this one is supposed to be the widest. I might even make these like even more wide. All right. Alright, so this should be higher. It shouldn't be the highest. So once again, I'm going to lower this a little bit. Okay. So down, up. Next is the awesome new pose of the high point. So this is where this leg that, you know, is grounded here, still grounded, is pushing off. So because it's pushing off, it's straight. This leg is bent as it's about to step down, and the body is at the highest point. Alright, so the main thing is that this leg is really straight, because the leg is literally, you know, it's pushing off of the here. Oops. Alright. Let's tidy this up. Alright. Bibbidi bobbidi boom. So, is this forward? Yeah, this is forward, so this line shouldn't be there. This is back leg, back arm, and the head. I'm actually just going to draw over this. There we go. Alright, so let's watch this. Leg. This leg is going to move forward while this leg is planted, so this moves forward. And it's about to step down, like that, but in reverse. The blue leg holds the leg and then pushes off. And now we just do a reverse. So reverse contact, reverse recoil, reverse passing, and reverse high point. I always like to think of it as like you're making like a beam for the body. So these legs are relatively straight. This leg is like coming down from where it was here. I'm going to get a little bit of that curve there. I'm going to make his leg extra kind of curvy. Alright, let's tidy up them lines. Which way is my arm going? It's coming back. So this is the arm that's forward. This is the arm that's back. I don't really love these lines. I'd probably go back and tighten them up. They're a little too scribbly for me, but I'm not going to worry about them too much right now. And boom. So actually this leg is the one that's in front. Okay. Where's the hole? I think it's there. Boom. All right. Alright, that's my reverse contact. Then we have a reverse recoil. Once again, now this leg is the one that's bent. The first one was, the other leg was bent, though this was passing. Now, this is the one that's going to bend while the back leg is passing, or beginning to pass, I should say. It's not passing yet, but... Once again, the recoil is when the arms should be the farthest from one another. I've been spending so much time worrying about drawing, I haven't thought about the height of my character. So when I finish the drawing, let's go back and worry about the height of the character. I don't want the height to go crazy. Alright, so let's tidy this up. Which arm is forward? This one's forward. So this get rid of this line here. Okay, looks pretty good. And let's use this. Boom, boom. Okay. Alright, like I said, the highest point of my character, so recoil should be lower than the contact. This is the passing, and then this should be the tallest. So maybe I'll make that the tallest. Although that's kind of a huge, maybe that's a little too big. Let's make this a little bit bigger. So now this is coming down, so this should definitely be lower. I'm going to set this up to be the same height as the original contact. So your guidelines can be your friend, just to kind of play around with height and weight and things like that. Get rid of these by right-clicking on them. I'm going to go back to, so this is my reverse coil, so I want that to be the same height here. So let's put that there. Just to get this to be about the same level. Okay. Alright, almost done. We got two more poses. Now we got reverse passing, so this back leg is moving forward. Now it's like here. This leg is straight, or straighter. So I'm kind of drawing the body, and then I'm now drawing like the arm. I'm drawing the lines on top of each other just because that's how I think about it. If that's, doesn't work for you, then don't do it that way. But if you can do it without doing this, hey, more power to you. I like to see the lines personally. And then this is the leg, back leg, and it's coming forward. Okay. Alright, let's clean up my lines a little bit. So I want to get rid of this and this. And let's get rid of this. This is the forward leg. It's got to be, there we go. That looks good. This leg would connect to this, so I gotta get rid of this line. Oops. Oh, it's this hole right there. Alright. Oops. Alright, there we go. And I want this to be kind of, it should be, I'm gonna make this a little bit lower. Alright. Okay. And I'm gonna set that to there. Finally, I need the reverse high point. This is going to be the highest point as the back leg, or sorry, the front leg is now. So before the back leg was pushing off, now it's the front leg, the front right leg. Once again, this is like the leg should really be really straight because this is like it's pushing off. This back leg is about to step down. So like before it was like coming around, now it's about to step down. So it's like kind of winding up to step down. So it's very bent. Okay. Let's tidy up my lines once again. I might redo this line. I don't like that line. Sometimes animation is about the simplest little line. Helps with the 3D-ness. Alright, that looks pretty good. Oops, didn't mean to draw that. I'm just kind of thickening these lines a little bit. Alright, let's... Oops. There's a little bit of a hole there. That should be... I should break that up. And these should be... Alright, there we go. And once again, this should be the highest point. This is the last one. I don't want it too high, but let's put it about there. This is a little big. All right, let's now kind of put these on the 3s. Timing. Play it out. Look at that. Boom, boom, boom. Feels like he's really coming to life, huh? Once again, I'm gonna import the background from the last scene. So I'm actually gonna import like a layer. It's actually, although oops, I don't think I saved it, did I? Well, maybe I did. So actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually export this layer. Save layer as. And I'm going to save this as, let's call this grass level. And I'm going to go back to my scene, and I'm going to import that. Level load. Under drawings, and there's grass. There's my grass level. So you can see how that was helpful. It just saved me not having to do extra work. I could just literally, you know, do it once and then just kind of bring it in. Once again, I'm going to put these on the 3. Maybe not on the 3s, maybe on the 2s. And that was that. Let's draw that main level. Or that. All right, let's play this out. Yeah, look at that. He's walking. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. All right, so that's it. This is a sophisticated or advanced walk cycle. Okay. Now, there's actually other types of cycles. We're not going to really, you know, we did a lot today, so don't worry. I'm not going to give you more. But, like, you could do, like, a run cycle, a fly cycle. you know, we might do these in the future, just a little bit more advanced. And to be honest, actually, I might come in, and as my character is kind of going back and forth, the face would actually kind of swing back and forth. So it's like, I'm going to come here, and it's like, this kind of represents the nose. The nose is kind of like, it starts off coming down this way and then comes back the other way. So now it's like going the other way. That might be too much of a head swing, but, you know, you get kind of the idea. It's kind of like going back and forth. Okay? So try that out. That's an advanced walk cycle.